Hello everybody, welcome to today's lesson. Today we're talking about quantifiers. So what are quantifiers? These are words we use before nouns, and these words are used to express how much or many of something exists. For example, each day of the week, every day of the week, few people are coming to the party. How can we use quantifiers? In general terms, we can use quantifiers in the following way. When we have a singular countable noun, you can use each, every, and either. With an uncountable noun, you can use most, little, some, much, a little, all, any, and no. With a plural noun, you can use no, few, all, most, a few, any, both, many, and some. Some example. The sentence that records every detail of his life. At the end of each day, Chris, most of his gadgets are attached to. He spends a little time analyzing, and there is no monitoring at all. Now let's go with some further explanation. So as said before, quantifiers are used to give information about the number of something. So it means to express how much or how many of something. In formal English, we can say that the following quantifiers go with both countable and uncountable nouns. They are all, some, more, a lot of, enough, no, any, most, lots of, less. In informal English, we also have some expressions that go with both countable and uncountable nouns. They are plenty of, heaps of, a load of, loads of, tons of. For example, we have loads of time. Joey has plenty of friends. There was heaps of food. Now let's continue with the words some and any. The quantifier some is not normally used with negative and interrogative sentences, and instead what is used is the word any. For example, did you have any children? Question. We don't have any children. Negative. I saw some children in the park. Affirmative. Now let's continue with quantifiers with countable nouns. Some quantifiers can be only used with countable nouns. They are many, not many, each, either, few, a few, several, both, neither, and fewer. Also, we have more informal forms used only with countable nouns, and they are a couple of, hundreds of, thousands of. For example, there are hundreds of people at the concert. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Now, quantifiers that go with uncountable nouns. These quantifiers are not much, much, a bit of, and a little. For example, would you like a little water? Can I have a bit of bread? Also, when we talk about uncountable nouns, we have abstract nouns. These nouns are time, money, and trouble, for example. And these abstract nouns use expressions like a great deal of, a good deal of. For example, the car costs a great deal of money. My brother spent a good deal of time. Now, when we talk about members of groups, it is when we put quantifiers directly after the noun to talk about members of a group in general terms. For example, few snakes, most children. I have never had enough money. However, when we want to be specific about the group, we use the expression of the. For example, few of the snakes in this zoo are dangerous. I'm talking about not all the snakes in the world, just the snakes in the zoo. Most of the boys at my school play football. I'm not talking about all the boys, just talking about the boys in my school. Then we have, he has spent all of the money that I gave him. I'm talking about the money that I gave. And both of the chairs in my room are new. I'm talking about those chairs particularly. Now, if you see here in the last two examples, we have all of the and both of the. It is because the preposition of can be taken out. So you can say, for example, he has spent all the money that I gave him instead of all the money. And both the chairs in my room are new. You can say that instead of both of the chairs. Keep that in mind. Now let's go with the words both, either, and neither. These quantifiers are used when we're talking about two people or things. For example, both restaurants were closed. Neither of the restaurants was closed. And either or either of the restaurants was open. So, if you see here, when you use the word neither and either, the verb that follows goes into the single form, right? Singular form, okay? Now let's go with the words every and each. These quantifiers are used with singular nouns to mean the word all. For example, there was a party in every street. Each shop was decorated for St. Valentine's or St. Patrick's or whatever. So both here are all the streets and all the shops. It means all, completely. Now, we also have the word every when we talk about times. For example, you can say, I had Christmas parties at my grandmother's every year. Every year. We used to go to the beach every day when we visited my aunt's place. Another example, every day. Now it's practice time. Go onto your book's solutions, pages 54, 135, and 136, and solve activities 1, 2, and 3. Bye, and see you next time.